Have you been feeling a little bit too much, ready for some action and a breath of fresh air? Well, emotions are the element of water. So let's drain the swamp and come back to present. In today's video, I am going to teach you 3 tools to alchemize your emotions so you can move out of a state of emergency, whether it's distressing news, a breakup, or just navigating your day-to-day with 3 emotional regulation techniques that help connect you back to spirit, to yourself, and give you not only better perspective, balance, but shift you to being more sustainable and having these deep feeling waters. Hi, I'm Sonia. I'm a 4th generation intuitive, and I am so happy I teach you how to plug back into your intuition, your innate divine self that guides you always to your highest north. And today we are talking about emotions. Emotions are important, and we can often confuse them with intuition because they come in really strong into our body. Emotions are trying to tell us something. They're trying to give you a message. They are the temple guardians to our heart space and give us clues to what it is that we value and what we care about. And our emotions can really get triggered when we're feeling out of control, overwhelmed, lost. And instead of either trying to have to combat against it, what we can do is listen to what's underneath the surface, root back into home number 1 of our physical bodies, so that instead of being crushed by these waves, that we can learn to surf them. Now, these big, strong emotions will come in as danger, and that hijacks our imagination, pulls us out of our breath, gets us into overthinking, wishful thinking, overwhelm, and feeling stuck. And the big thing about our emotions is they're directly connected to our thoughts and our beliefs. If we're really triggered emotionally, that clouds our thinking waters and doesn't have us make decisions that are centered in ourselves, that honor our spirit, and we end up reacting so much to creating this system. So our first, number 1 tool, practice the pause. Just start to notice this energy, start to notice those churning waters, that overwhelm, that anxiety, all of that emotion. When we can start to just slow down and pay attention, this helps to return us back to present and back to physical body number 1. When we can have this practice, we can start to listen to what's underneath the noise. And instead of getting into fight, flight, freeze, figure it out, we can actually start to use these practices to reconnect to our spirit, to get underneath the blah, 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 to what is true, and also to have a safe space from which we can navigate from. So the first tool that I am going to teach you, at each of these tools for nervous system regulation, start from if we're feeling mildly anxious to more acute to severe. So our first one, if you're feeling mild anxiety and overwhelmed, this is a really important special tool called the breath of heart. So the first thing that you're gonna wanna do is just even feel the weight of your body in your chair. Let's just start with my favorite tool always in connecting with your spirit, starting to rub your hands together and slowly pull them apart. Starting to feel the dance of energy between your hands. This is your spirit that's ever present, no matter what. You always have access to its support. Place one hand on your heart and one hand on your belly. And you can even just gently close your eyes if you feel safe to do so. And then just inhale. And just as you inhale, just bring your attention to your heart space. Just letting the chatter of your mind start to quiet. And as you inhale, imagine that you're breathing in love. Breathing in through your heart space. And as you exhale, imagine that you're letting that love flow out of your heart space. And you can put a timer on your phone for 1 to 5 minutes, breathing in love, then exhaling love. Now, as we're practicing this breath work, centering into our spiritual heart, which overlays our physical heart, which brings in our compassion, a beautiful thing that you can do is even just start to bring to consciousness a memory where you felt safe, where you felt loved, where you felt peaceful, where you felt connected, whether that's a person, a place, a thing, a memory. And from this, just start to notice if you can connect to any of that feeling in this moment. And just as you're breathing, imagine that it's just washing over you. And with each breath, it's kind of like opening a faucet we start to sink into the present moment, sink into our spiritual heart, and start to call back these memories of feeling good in our body. The beautiful thing about this tool is it creates coherence between mind, body, spirit, and emotion. This is a very powerful way to help us re-regulate and come to present. And from this place, you're like, okay, now I can quiet the emotional waters. Then you can go to, what does my intuition say? What does my deeper heart say? And most importantly, in this practice, you can even have that practice. My spirit says, fill in the blank out loud. Don't think about it. And notice how it feels to let your spirit speak now that you calmed the emotional waters. Our second tool is a beautiful tool of yogic breathing. Now, these have been passed down through generation and generation. I mean, these are powerful, powerful practices. And the beautiful thing is, again, hand on our heart, hand on our belly, just starting to bring that same place of focusing into home number one. The big thing about hand on our heart, hand on our belly is a beautiful way that we can connect to spirit, quiet the chatter, and start to even connect back to home number one. Then you're gonna take your hand and you're gonna put your 2 fingers right here on your third eye, right here. So the first thing that you're gonna do is just at the center of your forehead, just imagine this is your third eye. This is your third eye, your chakra. You can even tap to bring in some mindfulness of where we start to anchor into spiritual sight. So as you just start to point and even just tap, let your fingers rest. And then with your thumb, from your nostril, exhale fully. And then put your thumb over your nostril and then just slowly inhale and exhale. Once you exhale, take your pointer finger, put it on the opposite, and then inhale and exhale. And we just go back and forth. And you can do this 1, 2, 3, up to 10 times, even more. It can be really wonderful to set a timer so that you don't have to pay attention. But as you are breathing, first, let's really practice breathing from east to west. This is diaphragm breathing. It's almost like imagine if somebody's holding your little rib cage and you're breathing into their hands. When we get into a lot of anxiety, the first thing that gets cut off is our breath. We get into our shoulders, we're in fight, flight, freeze, figure it out. Our breathing is shallow. So even just this practice of going from east to west helps us to calm our parasympathetic nervous system down. And just as you're doing and practicing this breathing, imagine that you are moving energy, because that's what this practice is. Focus your attention on the cool air as you inhale and the heat as you exhale. As we start to go from left to right, this not only balances our meridians, but all our energetic meridians, but also helps to deepen our concentration and helps us to find available moments of joy and connection. This purifies and strengthens our nervous system so that we're resilient no matter what is going on around us. It's not about the emotion, but again, not being victim to a feeling that takes away our power and our choice and ends up becoming an energy leak. So our third tool, which I love, and the reason why these are all breath practices is the word breath in almost every language, ancient one, really comes back to the word spirit. Even the French word aspire, aspirer, aspiration, inspiration, that is spirit. So when we practice these different practices, it roots us back into home number one, to our spirit, into something bigger that can hold all of us. So our third tool, and this is a tool called the humming beat. Now, what you're gonna wanna do is either sit or lie down, again, feeling the weight of your body in your chair. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna inhale and you're gonna close your lips. And then you're gonna tighten the back of your throat, and then you're going to hum. To intensify this, if you're feeling really stressed, you can put your hands over your ears or even just close your eyes, really focusing on the sensation. The beautiful thing, one, is humming. This is our throat chakra. This is the chimney that often gets cut off when we're in overthinking. These two parts get disconnected. When we start to tone, when we start to stimulate not only our throat chakra, interestingly enough, our vagus nerve, that fight, flight, and freeze, figure it out, that ancient mammalian, the ancient lizard brain runs from our brainstem all the way down through our throats, down our bodies, into our gut. And when you stimulate it with sound, this is where singing is so important. This is where even just humming, we can start to return back to present, helping us to get out of overwhelm. This actually also helps us to fight brain tension, like if your brain's just feeling squeezed in a vice. It's also our blood pressure. It calms our nervous system. These are 3 simple tools and practices that you can use anytime, anywhere, that will give you not only padding, but again, will help you to connect back to your spirit, back to underneath what's going on, and attend to your big feelings that are so sacred, with compassion and kindness that lets us flow with life instead of feeling overwhelmed by it. Your deep feeling waters are your superpower. So when we really have these tools to be aware of and give these waters banks, just like a container. Water needs a container. These tools are your practices of your container of home number 1, your physical body, a container. Home number 2, planet Earth, where we can ground into support of our Mother Earth, connected. And home number 3, our community. And that can also be a really great place to get mirrored and to get support. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. Use these tools anytime that you need to come back to present. And let me know, do you have a favorite tool that helps you when you're feeling dysregulated or ungrounded? And last, I'd say my favorite tool is also to pray. I love to turn things over to my guides, to my angels, whether it's on my altar, and just ask for help as an act of physically turning things over that I don't have to manage it all by myself. And worst comes to worst, grab a kazoo, because that will instantly lighten the mood. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, leave me a comment, hit subscribe, come to my site, soniatully.com. I have so many free offerings here for you. I have a family podcast. I do readings, mentoring, and so much more. And I'm sending you all my love. And I hope that you have a beautiful day and are kind to yourself, your nervous system, and those around you, especially as a deep sea diving empath. Sending you all my love. Bye.